What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dear Modern Stylist, the podcast. I'm your host, DOPEaxxPANA, and I created this podcast in hopes of creating a space where clients and stylists can come together and talk about pricing, professionalism, and how we present ourselves in the industry. This is a conversation that you guys wanted me to have for a while, and it was actually requested, so I'm super excited to introduce my guest because it's the most special guest of all time, my husband. We've been married for 4 years, together for like 12, 14 years. Welcome, okay, Oso.
Hey, what's going on?
He's really like a jack of all trades. I'll say a musician. That's probably at the top. Photographer, videographer, barber. What don't you do? Veteran.
I am that.
I don't take no BS. So yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation because a lot of people want to know about the dynamic of our marriage with entrepreneurship, how we kind of balance me being in the salon. I feel like people probably see me in the salon all night and like, what does her husband think about that? So we're going to kind of get into the conversation a little bit.
Okay.
For those of you guys who like know us, you guys also know that recently we've had 2 kids back to back. One was very planned. One was very like
not planned
at all. So we've been kind of just like tackling parenthood and entrepreneurship. So we're going to get into all of that today. But first, we're going to start off with obviously how we met.
Okay.
And I feel like depending on who tells the story, you get a different story. So do you want to tell it or do you want me to tell it?
You want me to tell it first? No, you tell it first. And then I'll tell my version.
Y'all, he was on me.
Oh, that's
He was on me. We actually met in the club in Hawaii, which is really funny because I feel like there's this like stigma that you can't find love in the club, but like it was love at first sight for him, you know? He actually came behind me and started dancing, and you know, no questions asked. I'm throwing it back, twerking. He's falling all over the floor. Couldn't really handle it.
Cut it out.
And so yeah, he asked for my number and I gave it to him. And it's so funny because at the time I was actually in a relationship, but I'm the type of person, I feel really bad rejecting men. And so I would give them my number and just like never answer or just block them immediately. And so I knew like at that moment, I was like, no, I have a boyfriend. Like I'm not messing with him. But his like really good friend out there at the time was dating one of my best friends. And so that's kind of how we stayed connected. But he called me after the club. I answered. I was like, yeah.
I don't even think you answered.
I don't even think I answered. I blew him off, y'all. And I feel like after like a couple tries, he was kind of like,
it wasn't, don't do that. It wasn't a couple
after
tries.
about 4 or 5 missed calls, 72 text messages.
It was 1 missed call after the club, like legitimately right after the club.
You was trying to clap cheeks or you was trying to be with me?
I was trying to clap cheeks. I was trying to clap them cheeks.
I was not having it. But anyway, I feel like we kind of just built a friendship because we were hanging out over time. And I remember my friend was like, please come on this date. And I was just like, I don't want to go on this date. But I took one for the team. I went on the date and I'm like, okay, he's kind of cool. Like I'm kind of rocking with him. And then also my situationship, which is what it turned into, was like when my boyfriend was just kind of falling apart because we were long distance. And so I was still on the island in Hawaii. And he had moved back to Jersey, and it just was like a really rocky space. And so I kind of was like, let me just give this dude a chance. I feel like we had one conversation. I don't know if you remember this. We were either by the water or like in a parking lot, and we were sitting in the car and we were talking. And I was like, he's kind of cool. Like, I mean, you know.
That was a later I remember that.
He's hella into me. He's hella on my line. I should just probably give this a try.
Whatever she's saying, it's the total opposite.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite. Can I tell my version?
Make it quick.
I'll make this a quick because it is a long story. So she is accurate. We did meet in the club. I did walk up behind her. She was dancing. She had heck of curly hair back then, and that's what really attracted me to her. And we was dancing, having a good time. After the club, I hit her up. She didn't answer. That was it. I didn't even hit her up after that.
Take notes.
I didn't hit her up after that. Here, fellas, take notes. I didn't hit her up after that. I didn't. And then like, what was it? Like a couple weeks went past. I don't even think we talked or had a conversation in between the time that we met and the second time that we met. But yeah, my homeboy was like, I'm going on a date. You gotta come with me. We about to have a double date. I was in the house. I was playing the game. I was on Call of Duty or something. I had to be playing.
When he found out it was me, y'all, he was juiced.
Nah, I wasn't. It wasn't that I was juiced, but you know, at the time we living in Hawaii. you know, it's beautiful women everywhere. So I wasn't really geeked up over like missing out
Just
on
little old
anything.
me.
You
Is that
know
what
what
you're
I'm
trying to
saying?
say?
Now I'm geeked up about you. You know what I'm saying? But back then I was like, it is whatever. It's whatever. So yeah, we went to the beach and she was hecka on my line. She was like hecka laying on my leg. We on the
I
beach
don't
just
remember.
talking. Oh, I remember. Nah, we was talking and then we kind of just built a solid friendship. I always thought she was hecka funny. And she would be dead serious about things, but she was just, you know.
It was actually interesting because anytime I would hang out with his friends and they would introduce me, they'd be like, "Oh, this is Bray. She's hella funny," and I would be thinking in my head like, "I don't say not one joke." Like I guess it's just like a personality thing. Like I just be
Yeah.
saying whatever comes to my mind, and I just be doing shit, y'all.
Yeah, you're like spontaneous in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we met,
Mhm.
and yeah, we were long distance for a while, y'all, until like 2014, and he finally moved to California. I kind of manipulated him into moving to California. 2015. And we got married in, do you know what year we got married? Or you need a Snickers?
Snickers. 2021.
Are you being for real?
Yeah, no,
It's 2021.
Yeah, I knew it.
We got married in 2021 during the pandemic, which was, oh my God. Like, I have to share our wedding video somewhere because that was actually a hilarious
That was
day.
actually like hilarious.
We went to Reno to get married. My parents actually got married in Reno. So we attempted to go to the same place. But we got the name wrong of the place. So I think my parents got married at Arch of Reno or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought they said Heart of Reno. So the place that we booked for the chapel, it was like in the hood. It was a person like damn near dying outside. We also didn't know that like we were gonna actually have a ceremony. We just thought we were gonna go sign some paperwork.
Sign some papers.
No, they made us actually walk down the aisle. I was in a Forever 21 shirt, Jordan 1s. What'd you have on?
I had on some Yeezys, some jeans, a jean jacket. I was, you know.
And then my dad shows up with a bedazzled suit jacket. So it just was so funny because I was like, this is like the most ghetto thing ever, but we have the whole thing on video. It's actually hilarious. So that was a good story. But we got married during the pandemic in 2021. So we've been married for almost 4 years.
On Valentine's Day.
Yes, on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So February 14th, 2025 will be our 4-year anniversary. Does it feel like 4 years to you?
Yeah, time's flying by.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like 4 years. Honestly, I can't really tell you what it feels like. I'm just appreciating the moments while
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So let's get into a couple questions. I asked you guys on my community tab what questions you guys have for us. I always think it's so interesting when you guys want to know like the dynamic of our relationship because I'm like, what does it really give? So I was interested to like see what type of questions you guys would ask. So I'm just going to kind of go down the line and ask some of the questions that they asked us.
Okay.
Don't forget, guys, like if you guys ever want to join in on the conversation on my community tab at DOPEaxxPANA, I always ask you guys to join in on the conversation with us. Leave your input, questions, thoughts, and we'll address them in the podcast. So yes, let's get right into it. So the first question that I thought was interesting was, how do you know that someone is your forever person? And I know you probably need to think about this, so I'm going to answer for you guys. I know for me, y'all, I was a hot girl. I was in those streets. Like I was living my best life. I literally do not regret any second of it because I feel like if I didn't get like my hoe phase out, I would have never been like a good wife to him because I would have just been exploring. That's just the type of person I am. But I feel like I got to a point in my life where the first thing was that I realized that my husband was very supportive. Very, very supportive. Like no matter what idea I brought to him, no matter what I wanted to do, he was always like pushing me, motivating me. And I feel like in order to do that for somebody, a part of you has to be selfless because you want to see me succeed. And it's not really about like how it affects him. Like there would be times where I would be doing hair and it's late hours, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And he's like, just do what you got to do. You know, obviously we didn't have kids at that time. But I really, really loved that support because some men are really like, you need to get a job. You need to do this. And I feel like no matter if I was up or down in my idea, he was super supportive. Another was like the loyalty. I loved that, like, we had been through some shit, y'all. We had been through some shit. And like, he always just like came back and loved me the same. Like, you might not have felt the same, and you might not have felt the same, but I feel like the love I felt was like the same, you know?
Yeah.
And when I tell y'all, we done been through some shit. So I really, really loved that too. I noticed the loyalty. I feel like a lot of other guys I was dating, like I had to worry, like, are they cheating? Are they talking to other people? Like, are you just really that into me? And with Dre, like, I knew that he hella loved me above anything else. I'm like, oh, he like really loves me down to the core. Like, there'd be times where I wake up in the morning and I look a mess, and he's like, you're just so beautiful. And I'm just like, ew, like, do you have a type, or you just going through life? Because like, I don't know if I should be offended or if like I'm fucking with this. And he would always tell me, you should be happy I wake up and I still look at you and like you. I'm like, okay, you know. So those are two things for me. So I feel like for me, it just got to a point where like I reached a certain level of maturity in my life where I knew what I was looking for, and he had a lot of those qualities. And nobody is going to be 100% perfect, but I feel like there were a lot more yeses for me than nos when it came to him. And so that's how I knew that he was my forever person. I'm like, I can get through the little, you know, dust and smoke to get to the good side with him. Now, I know there's like so many great things about me that you're just going to go on and on and on and on about, but your turn. How do you know that someone is your forever person?
How do I know? Mm-hmm. For me, there's a couple key factors, couple key qualities that I like. If we want to start with like the physical, like I was really attracted to her eyes when I had first met her. She's got like these big brown, you know, light brown eyes. And honestly, like physical wise, like I was attracted to her, but her personality is what really attracted me. She was hecka funny. Like I'm an introvert by nature, so it's like when I'm around somebody that can just bring me out of my shell and just make me feel super comfortable, I really gravitate to those type of people. So when I had first met her, she was just hecka goofy, hecka bubbly, like hecka always down to just have fun. Like we started off, you know, as friends, you know, so finding my forever person, that was a big quality for me. And she was also like really supportive, just like I was supportive for her. But she seen, oh no, wait, I can't even say supportive. I got a story. So we were talking, we were dating, and I guess her teacher had gave her a bad grade. Her teacher had gave her a D or something, and everything was going good. She's hecka happy. She's hecka happy with me. We hecka having a good time. We getting to know each other. And then she gets the D, and she comes in. Oh, she gets the D from the teacher. Oh, that's even worse. So she gets a bad grade from her teacher, and she comes into her place. I was chilling over there with one of her other friends, and she's like, I can't talk to you anymore. I got a bad grade. We got to stop talking to each other. I got a D. It's because of you. I need to focus. So, like, that kind of pissed me off a little bit. But
he was like, what does that have to do with me? Yeah, I tell you to do your homework all the time. I was like, no. Guys, turns out that my teacher, this is like, oh my God, this is like so crazy. But my teacher actually tried to sleep with my ex-boyfriend, and magically I was supposed to get a B in the class, but she gave me a D. And she was like, oh, it was a minor mistake. But I will say my first day of that class, because at the time, remember I told y'all I had a boyfriend, but you know, this is, yeah. At the time when I had first started that class, this is, you know, before me and him. When I introduced myself in the beginning of the class, I lied and told her that I was engaged to that ex-boyfriend that she tried to sleep with, just because I was trying to one-up her. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it backfired. So magically I got a D, but it was really a B. And so once I found out that it was really a B, didn't I come back?
Yeah, you did. She did come back. And I like that she was hecka crazy about me. Like she was crazy, like possessive. Like she was kind of possessive about me.
Was I?
Yeah, you were. You didn't want me to mess with, even when we weren't really dating and we were just friends, you didn't really want me messing with other females.
I didn't, because just in case, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that, y'all.
At the time, I didn't really know, like, you know, them California girls are dangerous, so at the time, I didn't really know that. I was only familiar with females like on the East Coast. So, but other than that, like her personality, I
was a crash out.
Yeah, you was a crash out. I got hecka stories. We can.
No, we don't.
I don't even know if we're gonna have enough time to go through like heck of story.
I already know what story you about to tell. He hit me.
That one, the time you tried to hide the keys from me to keep me from leaving.
Oh yeah, I did.
Like she didn't lie when she said we done been through some stuff. So, but how I feel about my forever person, the thing that made me like really, really want to mess with her is just, I just got this feeling like I never met a female like her. She was hecka like pretty to me, hecka beautiful. And like,
even though all his friends said I was ugly.
Yeah, all my friends said they were ugly. But I never been the type to just go off of like what everybody else says. I always been like,
I was a little funny looking back then. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah. You
say yeah.
Looking. Yeah, you still funny looking.
Oh wow.
Like funny looking in a good way though. Nah, but I'm not upset about, where we are, and I had a feeling that you would be the one, and that's why I kind of like pursued you as hard.
Period. So when I started doing YouTube, actually a lot of people don't know, but my husband actually is the one who kind of influenced me to do YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he kind of saw my potential earlier on, and he was like, you need to just do this. You need to just do this. And I'm like, why would I just be doing this? Right. I think my first YouTube paycheck ever was like $300 or something. He was like, bruh, if you just keep doing this, like think of what it could be and this and that, and was hella pushing me. And so I think a lot of people don't know that you were probably a big part of like my journey in the beginning, just like the motivational.
Not probably, I
just
was.
The motivational. Okay. That's it. I was doing all the hard work. How does it feel dating someone who has like a high social media presence, and like how did that make you feel seeing the grind, seeing the come up? Like, did it change your dynamic of how you felt about me, or was it more like how did it make you feel?
I wouldn't say it changed my dynamic. If anything, I will put it akin to like, one of the reasons why I was so attracted to you, because you did like, I noticed that you had a drive and determination that I wouldn't say that I didn't necessarily have, but I really didn't know how to tap into, because like I have that same drive and determination, but mine's is more sporadic, to where it's like I'll stick with something for a little bit, and once I get really good at it, I'll get bored with it and try to go to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
While you would like really lock in, you would really focus, and that was something that I really admired about you. So that's why I was always kind of pushing you to like do the YouTube thing, because I see the vision. I seen the vision before. I feel like you even seen it, like especially with your type of determination and focus. It was like a no brainer for me. But other than that, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the question again?
I was saying, like, how does dating somebody with not even dating, being married to somebody with a high social media presence, like, how does that make you feel? Did you ever get nervous that I would get on and maybe leave you for like a football player, basketball player?
No, I never got nervous about it. If you did, like, you would probably be doing me a favor, because that would mean you weren't really for me. But like I would those things weren't making me nervous. Like that wasn't even never a thought in my mind. Like I never thought that you would leave me for like I don't even know, like a basketball player, a football player. Like you're a cosmetologist, like not to downplay it. Like you're really popping, like, but it's not like I was like, damn, she's a popping hairstylist. I hope Odell Beckham don't find her or something. Like I wasn't thinking about that. Not saying that wouldn't be a possibility, but like that was the last thing on my head.
That's a great segment into my what if. I always like to do a what if. I usually do it at the beginning, but today we're gonna do it in the middle. Let me just start off by saying my husband literally hates when I give him what ifs. He's like, I'm not answering that shit. It never ends.
It never ends, bro. Like you,
so
what if this? And then I answer and be like, but then this happens. And like, what are you doing?
Okay, so I have a what if for you, since I'm just a cosmetologist.
Okay.
All right, so I book. I got to think of somebody who's popping, but like not locked into a relationship. Because I was going to say LeBron James. I'm just thinking about like the top dude. Give me an athlete who's just like that dude, but he's not in a relationship.
An athlete?
Actually, no. I'll do you one better.
Okay.
I booked Future.
Okay.
Future wants a lock retwist. He hits me up in my DMs. I want to get a lock retwist from you. I need it immediately. I know it's a rush job.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly you out. I actually want you to be my personal stylist, because since you're able to fly out like this on, such a short notice, that's dope to me. Like, and I need that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fly you out for the rest of the year. I'm going to pay you a total of $4 million.
That's outrageous.
I'm going to split that up into 2 payments.
Yeah.
I'll give you $2 million in June, and I'll give you $2 million in December. There's only one stipulation. When you do my retwist, you have to do it butt naked. And I come to you and I say, husband, can I please take this job? $4 million. What's your response?
$4 million is the only stipulation is you got to do it butt naked?
Yes.
And it's $4 million half. It's $4 million in just
$4 million
in total, or $4 million in June, $4 million in December.
$4 million, $2 million in June, and another $2 million in December. I have to fly out twice a month for butt naked lock retwist.
I mean, they got nude beaches. You can do a nude hairstylist as long as he ain't touching. You know what I'm saying? Shit, that's
wow,
$2
that's
million.
All it takes is $4 million.
Yes, that's all it takes.
I'm not worth more than that to you.
You are, but that's what he's offering. That's what's on the table.
You didn't even tell me to negotiate.
What you gonna say? What you gonna say?
Give me 6.
6 million?
Yes.
So 3 and 3?
Yes.
First what if he was like,
I love how you think you're getting a piece of this.
I am. I'm definitely getting a piece.
He's definitely thinking about all the things he could purchase in his head. I said, I get.
What's yours is mine.
No.
What's mine?
Yeah, he says what's yours is mine, but he literally hid a cup of lemonade in the back of the fridge. There was a little bit left of a gallon of lemonade. He literally hid it behind a pack of salami because he didn't want me to drink it. But I thought we were sharing.
Yeah, you know why? Because I bought juice that day, and literally I bought 2 things of juice, and literally 1 thing of juice was gone within an hour. And then I wake up in the morning for work. It's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, this lemonade is about to be refreshing. I go in the refrigerator. It's like this much left, a little corner.
That's
I'm like,
enough.
bruh.
That's at least 3 gulps.
Yeah, I want a cup. I want a full cup of lemonade.
It will be a full cup once you add ice.
No,
these are the things you got to think about.
No, yes. We're not displacing liquid. I want the full amount in my cup.
All right, so next topic, we're gonna get into parenthood. I feel like parenthood has really changed our lives. Some days I feel like it's for the better. Some days I'm on some fuck these kids type shit.
I'm on the edge.
Man, I'm like literally contemplating. So people want to know about our parenting dynamic and how we kind of manage that. And woo, y'all, it's been a journey. First of all, like I said, we have 2 under 2. The first one was planned. The second one, I literally told him, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" I just couldn't help it. I
couldn't help it.
I'm like, there's consequences to your actions. Boom.
It wasn't a consequence, but when you're in the moment, you're in that mode. You think about it later.
So let's talk about 2 things. Number 1, after the first kid, let's start with Kyrie, our firstborn. He'll be 2 in January of 2025. So, how did you feel after having the first kid, and how do you feel like it changed your mindset about work, life, marriage, everything?
Having Kyrie, that was definitely a game changer. I think I cried when he was born.
He did.
I cried. I was like, because I didn't grow up with a father, so it was like, it was like a full circle type deal. It's like, now I'm a dad. This is one of the things I always wanted. Like, I talked to you about it before, so it was like, now I'm a dad. And it's a boy on my first try too. It was like, I was geeked up. Honestly, I was super happy. How did it change me? It definitely made me a little bit more patient. Not super patient. The second one made me a lot more. But the first one, because he was kind of easy early on. So, and he's advanced, so he was like picking up on things relatively quickly. So I feel like I didn't get the full experience, the full baby experience, because.
Yeah, I will say, especially after having a second child, Kyrie was very easy. He didn't cry. He went to everybody. It was very easy to have somebody watch him. And like him being our first kid, I feel like, I don't know, it just felt really, really easy. Like we had a nice village, we had a lot of support. I think the hardest thing was kind of like managing our marriage with like such a huge life change.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
as far as everything else was easy. Like y'all know, I had my baby, I had a C-section and literally was like back in the salon 2 weeks later. Like I was crazy, but that goes back to like my laser focus. Like when I want to do something and I want to be successful at something, I go and do it. But for me, like it definitely changed my mindset and like and me valuing time. I'll say that.
For sure.
Because prior to me having a kid, like obviously I'm at the salon all types of hours of the night and you know, I'm just doing me. I'm moving on my own time, but it's like now or after having Kai, it's like every second that I'm not at home and I'm not with my kid, like I have to make this time count because I'm not with my kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I will say it kind of changed that dynamic for me. And then with our relationship, it was really hard because it's like I'm trying to like go back into the shop and like obviously make money because we have a family. And then you want to like find time to like be a partner to your partner, but it's like we got this little baby sleeping in between us. We're not getting a bunch of sleep. We're on the edge. Like we're trying to figure out who's gonna babysit or who's gonna watch the kid between the two of us. Like it was just a lot going on at that time, y'all.
It was definitely, I feel like the hardest part was finding that balance, because definitely having a child throws you off your original balance. Because I wouldn't say we were completely like in sync before the baby, but we kind of got into a groove, and we had, like you said, we had planned for it, so we kind of knew that we wanted to go in that direction. But what we didn't expect was like how hard it was going to be to manage like the newborn baby with like the entrepreneurship and all the things that we were trying to do.
Because guys, so prior to having Kai, like I said, I would do crazy hours at the salon. Like I would take a client at 9, I'm leaving the salon at 2 or 3 in the morning. Dre, as a musician, he would be in the studio. That's an overnight thing. He would leave at like 9 and not come home till 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And then with the kid coming in, it's like you just can't do that. Like he can't do that. I can't do that. It's a respect thing, and then it's also like we have a kid. Like and honestly, when I was pregnant, I was super paranoid. I hated him being at the studio because it's like I'm hearing noises in the house and I can't defend myself.
Yeah.
Like, so, that was a really, really hard transition. Now with the second kid, I think it was a lot easier as far as like getting in a routine, especially with work, because we kind of knew what to expect from that.
Exactly.
I think the hard part in that for me was like I had a really hard time after the pregnancy. I went back into the hospital. I'm still like, y'all, I just had this baby 2 months ago. I'm still trying to like get back into the groove of things. Like I had a little bit of depression, prepartum depression, not postpartum, but I had a little bit of prepartum depression. And it's been really hard for me to just kind of like, I had a lot of life changes, left the salon. I'm working from home now. It's just a lot. Like some days I literally want to just go in the bathroom and cry. It's like, I don't know how I'm functioning, how I'm doing this, but then I'll talk to other people and they're like, you're doing so good, girl. Like you're posting every day. Like what? And that'll be like my motivation,
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like for certain people when they're that driven, like it's hard for them to like really notice or appreciate their achievements in the moment, because you're so focused on like getting to that next level that you can't sit and soak in the level that you're currently on right now.
Yeah. He was actually really good at telling me that. I remember it got to a point on YouTube where like I was making hella money, like $20,000 a month, and I would never spend money, y'all. I would just be sitting there chilling, not doing nothing. And he literally told me, he was like, you need to like do stuff for yourself. Like, why are you tripping off this? Why are you tripping off that? Or like, I was always like chasing the next thing, chasing the next level, chasing the next bag, and he'd be like, you need to like, you do hella shit, you do this or that, you need to take care of yourself. And I remember one time I went to the store and I bought some Alexander McQueen's and I was feeling like so bad. I was like, there's no reason I should be spending $700. He's like, who gives a fuck? Spend the money.
It's like, make a video in them and just write it off. Like,
yeah,
literally. If you're really tripping about it, like you got to enjoy yourself sometimes. Like it's okay to like spend on yourself when you're the one putting in the work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you just gotta be responsible about it. Just don't blow all your money, but at the same time, take the time to take care of yourself and appreciate things.
I've been definitely trying to work on celebrating or acknowledging small accomplishments. I feel like that's important because it is motivating, and like small goals are just as important as big goals, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas before, I wouldn't care about a small goal. It's like, I'm still not doing this. I'm still not doing that, you know? So another question, and y'all messy. I don't even know why I want to ask this, but somebody asked us if we get into arguments, and I'm like, what do y'all think
What?
relationships are? Like, they're like, do y'all have disagreements, and how do y'all settle y'all disagreements? Now, I will say I'm a certified crash out. So
Yeah.
before I matured, I was settling it with you know, I say some hurtful shit. I be doing too much sometimes. And I used to get so upset because my husband is like the exact opposite. He's a Pisces, I'm an Aries. That's fire and water. He's like so calm and I'm like so fired up, and I would like say something to get under his skin and he just wouldn't. He was like, I'm not going to argue with you. It's like, are you going to argue with me after I say this? And I just take it up and up and up and up until I get that reaction.
Exactly. Just imagine us arguing and it starts off really trivial and she's purposely not seeing my side. So she's trying to press my buttons to the point where I black out, but I don't black out. And then it's like she just keeps leveling up. She just keeps going up and up and up. Okay, this doesn't get under your skin. How about this? Okay, this doesn't get under your skin. How about this one? To the point where it's like now we're like in a full-fledged argument and it didn't even need to get there. But, you know, like she said, maturity came. And I got to the point where I was just like, I'm just not finna argue with you because now you getting me out of character just so you can get your little rocks off because you get thrilled from the heat from the argument. Like I don't know what it is.
No, that's so true. But now I've gotten better. Like I feel like we can talk. Like I definitely am the type of person I need to take a second and like relax and breathe because if I respond in the moment, it's not. I'm fired up. So like. I'll take a day or two, not even a day or two, but I'll like sit on something for a little bit before I sell it to him. And I feel like we've been doing pretty good about communicating.
Yeah. And we also like being together for so long is like certain tendencies that I have rubbed off on her and vice versa, certain tendencies that she has rubbed off on me. Like it wasn't always a one-way street. You know, sometimes now I'm the antagonist, I think, and I'm the one like really pushing the hard line, trying to get under her skin.
I'm glad you know.
And she's like, let's just talk about it later. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you know, we can talk about this later, but you know what? We finna talk about it now.
Okay, so transitioning from the arguments, what's the hardest part of marriage?
The hardest part of marriage?
Mm-hmm. You want me to start so you can think about it?
Yeah, let me think about it.
I would say for me, it's definitely compromising. And I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I am very like, well, first of all, I'm somebody who like is independent in a lot of ways. So like I like to move and do my things on my own time in my own way. And a lot of times like, well, I wouldn't say so much now, but in the past, like I wouldn't really think about like what it would do to my husband or like how he would feel. Like let's, for example, say like, for those of you guys who know me know that I was a cheerleader. I did adult cheer and it was something that I really love to do, but it's something that is extremely time consuming. So let's just say like 2 practices a week from like 9 to 11 p.m. at night. You're constantly traveling. It's a lot of money involved. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, I was traveling to get to practice like at least an hour or two. And it was really time that could have been spent with my husband, but it's like, I just love to do this. So like, you should just be cool with me doing it. You know, it was things like that. Or for example, when I was grinding and working in the salon, I'm at the salon till 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. And he would be like, I don't want you at the salon hella late. Like, it's not safe. And I'm like, I know how to fight. So like, what's going to happen to me? You know, it's just like, I mean, you know, I just kind of like to get up and do things and move on my own time. And then even beyond that though, like just like being willing to change things about yourself. Like when we talk about compromise, like being able to look at myself and say like, okay, these are things that I need to change because my husband wants me to change. It's like, I don't always want to do that, but I have to do that because I'm in a relationship. You know what I mean? So I would say that's the hardest thing for me because I do want to just like move and do what I want to do and like have it my way. And you just rep that. Yeah. So
I would say the same thing, but I'm going to, you know, word it a little differently, like compromising for sure. But I feel like the hard part for me was like finding that real balance, because like I was finding more happiness into like seeing you happy than I was finding happiness in like, figuring myself out. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like now the hardest part of marriage for me is kind of like finding that healthy balance to where it's like I'm finding myself while still pouring into my family type vibe. So pretty much time management, you know what I'm saying? Time management is pretty hard in your marriage because you got to make time for the things that you want. You got to make time for your family. You got to make time for your kids. You got to make sure your wife is, happy, not
Happy wife,
overworked.
happy
You know what I'm
life.
saying? It's really about a balance. She's got to have time to unwind from the kids. I got to have time to unwind from the kids. And, in that time, it might conflict with, something that I personally might have going on or want to do. And I have to sacrifice that in order to make sure she's able to, enjoy her time to herself. So still trying to find that, balance, but uh that's probably the hardest part for me.
Where do you see yourselves? Well, yourselves.
All
Where do
right.
we see ourselves in 5 years from now?
In 5 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
I see us.
And is there a baby girl in the mix?
I don't know. I'm good. I'm good off too. I wouldn't have mind. You know what? I wouldn't have mind if the second baby we had was a girl, and then we could have been done. But like two boys right now, two under two. I'm not sure if I want to do three in this particular moment. I'm not closing the door on it, but I feel like we need to lock back in onto how we were before we had the kids, before
Mm-hmm.
we even think about a third one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years now?
Myself,
Mm-hmm.
I see myself in a fat house with
Like it.
you know what I'm saying, with my beautiful wife and my two kids in elementary school on their way, moving fast on their way to middle school because they're hella smart and advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I see us financially stable, doing the things that we want to do, and living the life that we want to live as a happy unit. Um, I see us achieving all the goals that we set forth for ourselves. Um, and I see us getting another Jeep.
He wants a Jeep so bad. You
I
want to
don't,
be like
I
me.
want the Rubicon though. I want that big boy.
You want that big boy Jeep. I would say, well, first of all, let me just say, guys, I think a lot of people don't realize that we started having kids very late in life. I had my first son when I was 32. My second son, oh, was I 33? No, 32.
Mm-hmm.
My second son, I'm now 34. In order for me to have another kid, it would definitely be a couple years because 3 under 3 is absolutely insane. And that would put me almost like 37, 38. And I just don't want to have kids at that age. So for me, I'm comfortable with 2 kids. I didn't want no kids. So 2 is great for me. Definitely don't. But where I see myself in 5 years is definitely transitioning from being behind the chair, doing hair. I love doing hair. I know when I say that, people are always like, oh my God, no. But it's like, I love doing hair. I genuinely do. But it's like, I see so much more potential in myself beyond just that. And I want to have hair just to do when I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I feel like I create best, is when I'm doing it because I want to be there. I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I won't ever take a client, but so I see myself doing that and definitely becoming more financially stable. I feel like financially we've been really up and down. We've had great months. We've had months where we're like scraping, and I think at a time where we were making a lot of money, I think we just were not making smart financial investments. So lately, I've been just thinking of ways like I can invest my money, read books, kind of learn. So I definitely want to be owning a home in 5 years, like you said, in a fat crib. Yeah, I definitely see myself taking myself from behind the hair chair, whether that's vlogging and doing like lifestyle content, teaching classes. I don't know. I haven't really locked in on what I want to do yet, but my podcast is a start, y'all, because I talked about doing this. Yeah, that's kind of where I see myself in 5 years. And then obviously being a great mom. I love being a mother. I love being a mother. My kids are very smart. Whatever time I have to pour into them, like I pour into them. That's one thing I will really say about myself is like, I love motherhood. So just watching them grow and helping them do whatever they want to do, be whatever they want to be, like that would probably be top on my priority list.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we just build together.
I see a lot of big things for you. I see a lot of big things for us in the future. You know, I feel like I tell her this all the time. You know, she can literally, get in front of a camera and talk about anything, and she's got an established fan base. Like sometimes I feel like she's in her own way sometimes. So it's like in 5 years I can see her breaking past that and just doing all the things that she's been wanting to do, all the things that you've been wanting for yourself. All you got to do is just apply yourself and you got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, technically, this is a stylist industry podcast. So, I feel like I already know what you're going to say, but to finish and wrap this up, y'all got a lot of personal questions. We might have to come back and do a part 2 on this because they have a lot of questions about just family dynamics that we didn't get to today, but I do want to answer for you guys. But what are some of your pet peeves with dating a hairstylist?
Some of my pet peeves?
Yeah, give me 3. Give me three things where you're just like, oh my God.
For sure, the number one thing is probably the hair everywhere.
I knew you was gonna say that. You be pulling hair out your butt crack?
Man, what? I be pulling it out all types of crevices, bro. Like it be hair in my underwear from the washing machine. It's hair on the floor. It's hair everywhere. And we got a dog that sheds, so it's like it's hair, constant hair. The second thing, probably the late nights, but you don't really do that anymore.
Yeah, I have
you
kids.
You don't really do that anymore.
I'm waiting to hear something that you tell me all the time, and I just want to see if you come up with it. What's your third one?
Now, third one, something I tell you all the time that involves hair?
Yes.
Oh, raise your prices, man.
Oh, not that, but yes, y'all, he be on me. If it was up to him, bro, I would be charging $600 a style. I'm not gets so upset.
I get upset because, like, I feel like you're not valuing your time properly. And when I say valuing your time, I mean, like, you have a family, you got a husband, and like these people want you to do their hair. So if they really want you to do their hair, they have to understand that you have to step away from these things that are very important to you, like your husband and your 2 sons, to take a couple hours to do their hair. So what do you really value that at? What do you value that particular time slot at?
I feel like I charge like a cool amount though, but he be on me. But that's not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say when I tell you I'm almost done.
Oh yeah, let's do 4. That's number 4. That's really the second. That's my second biggest pet peeve, bro. Like the hair everywhere. But when she's like, I'm like a real stickler on schedules. I was in the military, so it's like if you tell me, I'm a literal person in that way. Like if you tell me like, oh, I'm gonna be done with this at this particular time, I'm fully expecting you to be done with that at that particular time, or at least communicate with me that you're not going to be.
Guys,
done
he
with
doesn't understand a hairstylist life. If I say I'm going to be done at 3, sometimes they might come in and their hair is thick, and I'm done at 4:50. Like it's just one of those type of things that happens. And also, I notice like when I say this is like a hairstylist thing. When I say almost done, it means I have like an hour or 2 left.
For sure, I know
that's almost done.
I know.
I think when he says almost done, he's thinking like 5-10 minutes.
No, like, not even 5-10 minutes. When you say almost done, I'm thinking like 30-40 minutes.
Or the other day, I was like, "Oh yeah, I have a client coming. It's a quick style." He's like, "What's quick to you?" I'm like, 2 hours.
No.
He's like, "That's quick." I'm like, "That's hella quick."
That's not quick. That's
hella quick.
That's 2 hours. That might be quick in hairstylist.
You don't understand hairstylist math.
In reality, like 2 hours is a long period of time.
I mean, it really is, but like in the hairstylist world, it's like you going to a barber and it's gonna take like
not 2 hours,
45 minutes. Like that's a quick cut.
That's a quick cut.
Is that really a quick cut?
That's a quick cut.
Okay,
45-minute cut. That's a quick cut.
Yeah.
The normal barber will probably do like an hour 15.
No, but I noticed that, y'all, that's the thing in the industry, because I actually seen like a reel on it when somebody was like, "Oh, me telling my husband I would be done at like 3:00, but it's really 6." Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I know I'm not the only one. It's like whenever I hate giving him times, because whenever I give it time, shit always happens.
It literally never, ever
I've gotten
works
better
out at that time. Never, ever. Like I fully expect if she gives me a time, I just add an hour and a half to it. hour and a half, 2 hours off rip. Like I don't. If she say 7 o'clock, okay, 10:30, 11, I'm clocking it.
You feel like you know hair now?
Yeah, for
when
sure.
I'm doing styles, you can name the style.
Yeah.
What's my favorite braiding hair that I use? Quick trivia. Expressions. When I have my own braiding hair brand. Are you effing kidding me?
My bad. The dope collection. Where's it at? You got to bring some here to put it on the tables.
What is my favorite braiding gel that I use? Name one.
The dope collection.
No. How many times have you gone to the beauty supply for me?
I have. It's like in a green jug.
It is. It's called knee braid.
Yeah.
What is my least favorite hairstyle to do?
Them small. Is it the bohemian? No. It's not bohemian. It's like the very small little braids. The very small little.
Lemonade braids.
That's your least style? No, that's not your least favorite style.
Yes, you don't know me.
Really? You used to want to get lemonade braids. You used to want to get lemonade braids.
Yeah, one time I got lemonade braids. I walked in the house. He was like, "Take that shit out."
Yeah,
I spent $300 on those braids.
Yeah, go get your money back.
He was like, "It's just the way your head is shaped."
Yeah, like some people aren't built for lemonade braids. Like my favorite hairstyle on you is probably box braids.
Okay, this is last trivia question. Dating a hairstylist trivia. Mm-hmm. Actually, I got two more for you. Okay. What's the last step that I do? How do you know that I'm done doing hair? What's the last step?
You put the paper bandana on, and then you dip their hair in the
yes, yeah. Good job.
I know what I'm talking about.
Good job.
I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, if you really know me and you support my content, then you would know this. Mm-hmm. What color is the braiding hair comb that I use?
You be using a lot of combs.
No, there's a comb that I'm known for.
The blue one?
Yes, Big Blue. Yeah, go crazy. He loves me, y'all. He loves me. You know all right, guys, we're going to have to do a part 2 because I didn't get to all you guys' questions, but we definitely want to dive into some more questions for you guys. Thanks so much for coming to my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm actually happy that he's here because now that he sees what I'm doing, he can fund it. Yeah, so anyway, y'all, love y'all so much.
We go in on that.
Love y'all so much. Well, I might have to slide in Future's DMs to see if he needs a cut or a retwist.
You know, a Future holler at me. She talk about naked hairstyles.
Butt naked retwist.
Butt naked retwist.
Guys, as always, don't forget to join the conversation by following me on YouTube at DOPEaxxPANA. You guys can go to my community tab and join the conversation. You guys can leave your input, advice, questions, comments, concerns on there. Also, don't forget to follow the podcast at Dear Modern Stylist on Instagram and follow my hubby. He makes really good music at ok.oso.
Yeah, it's _ok.oso_.
I was close. Yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much. And I'll catch you guys in our next podcast episode. We out.
Peace.